as we had last left it off, the party splitting up once again to pursue different factions to join their war effort against the King of Windwood. Went into two different directions. Team Dragon rode with Reichstag the Brave for 3 days and nights to Mount Celestia, where Evortadrex, the Peace Scriber, and Reichstag's father led. Meanwhile, Team Mushroom went and visited the Stone Lords and found Vlaus, the oldest brother of Guam and Crimlog. He found that the stone giants were great lovers of Bellatrix's grandmother, Ballard, and her arts. And when Ballard was executed, the stone giants took it to heavy heart and retreated into their underground lair, never to be seen again, until beauty had returned to the world. And thanks to a little bit of ingenuity from Russ, Otti, and Verity, you have convinced them that beauty is still in the world, and they will fight to keep that beauty. Meanwhile, Korgrin, Arrabella, and Rennas visited Vortadrex. You were made aware of something called Pact of the First Wings, a promise between all dragons, both chromatic and metallics, to never interfere with the natural progression of human or otherwise civilization. To be involved, but to never influence. To be witness or even participant, but to never guide. The sheer fact that Aurora, the freezing embrace, is breeding for the sole purpose of providing humans dragons to win a war with is a clear violation of that pact. And Vortadrex summoned Aurora to answer to these charges. She was flippant, bestial in nature, very violent at the tongue. She did not take these accusations well. And instead of listening to you, she has elected to eat you instead. As you guys sort of ponder the meaning of that, she lowers her back, expunges her head forward, and charges at you to attack. So, top of the round, Rennas, your reactions are faster than those of anybody else's here. What do you want to do?
Well, that makes a change. Okay, so how far away is Aurora from me?
I'd say she's a good 150 feet or so, but she can move quick.
Okie doke. So what I would like to do is reach into my pocket and throw some dust of disappearance over me. Poof. And if she's 150 feet away, I would like to move like 30 feet just sort of parallel, just away from wherever she is charging. Okay. And I will hold my action to shoot her with my bow, with the triggers being she either attacks anyone here, but I will not attack if a Vortadrex specifically calls for peace. So if he tells everyone to stand down, I will do nothing regardless of what Aurora does, expecting a Vortadrex to handle that. So that's me.
So at the end of your turn, she's going to take a legendary action. She's going to use the legendary action Detect to try and smell you out. So since you haven't stealthed, what's your dexterity modifier?
I mean, I'm invisible. Is that not stealth?
You are stealth, but you haven't met stealth as an action.
That's fine.
This would be,
so a modifier is 6.
So the DC to detect you will be 16. 19. So while she can't see you, she can certainly smell you. Knows the general area where you are. Right. Arrabella, you're up.
Seeing Rennas kind of prep but not attack, I'll kind of do the same thing, and I will get my oath bow out. Not quite knock it, but if she again kind of same actions as Rennas, I will wait until it looks like an attack is imminent, but and it's not going to be stopped, and I will say swift death to you who have wronged me before I shoot my oath bow. Oh, I won't say it yet. I won't say it until I'm about to shoot.
All right then.
Yeah.
So you prepared. Korgrin, you're up.
Bonus action, I'd like to Shield of Faith. So, kind of as Korgrin's standing there, just, pauldrons and general breastplate suddenly become imbued in golden light.
Yep.
So let me just up my AC. I will move 25 foot forwards so that there's a bit of distance between Korgrin, Arrabella, and Rennas.
All right.
And I will... I'll hold a guiding bolt.
All right.
Just generic.
Okay.
Oh no, I can't because I did Shield of Faith. So I will hold my attack action.
Okay. Okay, so at the end of your turn, Aurora is going to make a legendary action to do wing attack. Specifically, whilst nothing around her is in danger, she will fly up to half her speed. So she will zoom 40 feet forward, coursing directly towards you guys. Vortidrex, unpleased by this sight, is going to rear its head backwards, and he is going to breathe not a sign of fire, but a yellowy like mist with almost like electrical currents within it, and breathes it over Aurora. So she needs to make a Constitution saving throw. That is a fail, so she's going to burn one of her legendary resistances to succeed against his paralyzing breath. As Aurora continues forward, Vortex just goes, "Hold now, or face the consequences." Reichstag is going to fly over and stand beside Arrabella. And he's going to sort of like hold his wing out as kind of like a half shield for you. As he's also going to hold his action to attack if Aurora gets within range. Aurora is going to continue lunging towards the first person would be in sight, would be up to Korgrin. She is not stopping. I'm going to say that does activate your actions.
Roger, roger. So if she's detected me, I take it I'm not at advantage.
So you still have an advantage because you're invisible. She can't see you. She just knows where you are. That's all.
Okay, that's slightly better. 29 to hit.
Yes, 29 definitely hits Aurora.
That's some decent rolls for a change as well.
That's not bad actually. So it's 49 points of damage. So the arrow flies forward, going straight for one of her old scars, lands right in there, and you can see like the skin just parallels into it, and you can see there's an impact from it. However, she is a hearty creature, and you think she can take a lot more punishment than that.
Yeah, I didn't figure it was going to bring her down, but at least it's, let her know we mean business.
Mm-hmm. Arrabella, Korgrin?
I've attacked, it was a 15.
Oh, 15 unfortunately is a miss.
Yeah.
Sorry, ignore that 3d4, that was an accident. 32 is definitely a hit. Arri?
So it is the damage plus 3d6, and it is going to be a grasping arrow as well.
Okay.
So she's going to get covered in vines.
Alright. So the vines cover around part of her body, but she does not stop and she continues moving onwards.
Okay, there's 2d6 poison damage as well.
Yep. So that is 28 points of damage against her.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, if she doesn't stop, then it'll be 2d6 slashing damage.
Yeah, she's not stopping, so...
Ugh, that's crap.
So it's another 3 points of damage against her. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
As she gets up to you, Korgrin, she just goes... and breathes out. And you can see not just a cold mist, but icicle shards, like lances of ice spikes, just shoot out like a machine gun from her mouth as she sort of arches around the room, which would cover Korgrin, Arrabella, and for the sake of, because there's not a map available, I'm going to say it would avoid you, Rennas, because you specifically got away.
Cool. 30 feet to the side.
So I need Arrabella and Korgrin to make Constitution saving throws, please. That's a success. That's a fail. So, Arri, you take 55 points of cold damage. Korgrin, you take half that, so that's 22 points of cold... No, 27 points of cold damage. Right, that is her turn. Rennas, you're up. Right,
Is
so
she-
Arrabella, you just cover yourself with that sheet of magic that absorbs half the elemental damage. So,
Is she
Rennas?
right next to Korgrin and Arrabella?
Yeah, she's right next to Korgrin. Not Arrabella, but right next to Korgrin.
Okie doke. Then I will shoot her again. 28 to hit.
That will hit her, yes.
And another 42 points of damage.
Nice. Our arrow flies forth. It bounces and like it does ping off one of her scales. Yeah, she's barely flinching.
And then I will run off like another 30 feet in the direction of trying to get behind her.
Right. So I don't think you're invisible anymore because
I'm
you
not, no,
attacked
yeah.
her.
Once I attacked, I lost it.
Yeah. Okay. At the end of your turn, Aurora's going to take a legendary action to do a tail attack against Korgrin. It's 27.
Oh, give me 2 seconds, sorry. So I took 27 damage.
Yep.
Halved 13, so succeed on the Constitution save.
No.
Concentration.
No. It was 55 points of damage in total, but because you succeeded, it went down to
Yeah.
27.
Yeah, it was a concentration check.
Oh yes.
So I just need to check if that would make any
Yeah,
difference. That does hit, though.
Yeah, that definitely does it. Yeah. So, you take 14 points of bludgeoning damage, non-magical.
Landed. Okay.
Can you make another
yeah.
con check as well? DC 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're good. Okay, Arrabella, it's your turn.
Oh, it's going to pick me up. There we go. Before I go, you said Reichstag was kind of half covering me with his wing. Would that have protected me at all against the breath attack?
Not against that level of power, actually. And Reichstag himself was hit by that, but he is in fact immune to cold damage.
Okay.
It's alright then.
Yeah, I'm like, so I also need a ruling on this as well, because technically she hasn't broke my vines. So will she take 2d6 poison damage at the start of each of her turns if she moves, or? Oh
yeah, on each of her turn, if she moves, she will continue to take damage, and if she doesn't, break the vines.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna shoot her again then.
Right.
Oh, that's meant to be advantage, just in case there's a
26 is a hit.
3d6.
Nice, 28.
I shall do it again. Is it
24? 24 is another hit.
Yay!
Over 11 damage.
And 18 altogether.
Yeah. Right, so 2 arrows fly forward, hitting into the core belly of Aurora. She is annoyed by this peppering of attacks. Anything else from you, Arrabella?
Nothing from me. Sorry, I
Okay.
shook my head because I had a mouthful of tea. Mouthful of I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I've completely.
At the end of your turn, Aurora's going to make another legendary action to do another wing attack. So, Korgrin, can you make a dexterity saving throw, please?
I'd like to succeed.
Okay, so you were not knocked prone. Sorry, actually, no. If you succeed, you don't. It doesn't say you take the half damage. So yeah, so you avoid the damage by basically just planting your weapon into the ground as your beard and your hair blow backwards from the pressure. And then she will fly past you, Korgrin, straight over to Arrabella and Reichstag.
I would like to. Can I get a opportunity attack then as she's leaving?
Yes. There's a hit. It's not the beginning of her turn yet, Arrabella, so she won't take the damage again.
She moved.
Yes, but it's not her turn again. She can't take the source of damage more than one time in her turn. So when it's
She's
her
had
turn
a turn
again,
since.
yeah, when it's her turn again, she'll take the damage
Okay.
because she'll take the damage on her turn when she moves.
So hammer,
Nice.
divine strike, and I will shout out to Arri, if you want to move, now's your chance, and use a maneuvering attack. Battlemaster feature, you can move 15 foot if you want to, or half your movement speed, I should say.
Yeah, 15 foot. Yeah, I'll move it to kind of try and get behind Reichstag if I can.
Okay, so you move behind Reichstag, no problem. So she flies up, and Reichstag just gets in the way. Now, Reichstag is big, but Aurora does dwarf him, and he doesn't shy away. He kind of squares up to her, stretches his wings out like a peacock, and just roars in her face. And she just roars back. Okay, so that is. Okay, so Korgrin, it is your turn.
So as she's flying away, I will shout, "Dodge this, you icy bitch!" And hopefully I don't miss. I may use a +10. I'd like to +10 that.
Okay. What are you
and
casting?
I cast Guiding Bolt at 7th level.
7th level. Okay.
I can't imagine why you wanted a +10. Do you not just want to waste a 7th level spell slot?
No.
Okay. So, as you go to cast, as you call this out, Aurora looks behind her. I want you to make an insight check, please.
Haha.
She sees what you're doing, and then you just notice for a hot second, it's a flash of white in her eye. Undetermined of what that means, you go to cast a spell, and it fizzles out, and the spell fails.
If she's used a legendary action, does that count as a reaction?
No, legendary actions are completely separate. That was...
Okay.
She just did
count
was
as
a reaction.
Okay. Never mind then. Then that's me.
Right, it is Avortrix's turn. So Avortrix is going to lumber forward. He's going to fly up magnificently. And he's going to shoot forward and tackle Aurora. So he's going to make an opposed athletics check to try and push her down even. Oh man, that's a 2. He has a +10 to the strength. Yeah, so he crashes into Aurora and she stands her ground. She swings her wings and just starts barking maliciously. And Korgrin, with that insight, it's an act. She knows exactly what's happening right now. She's not as bestial, she's not as primal as she's made herself out to believe. She's got a full understanding of the situation and she is deceiving how primal she is. Impression that she's actually a lot smarter than herself out to be. Reichstag is going to use his actions to attack her. Two hits with the claws. That's 35 points of damage against her as he just starts clawing and bite in, but he can't find purchase in the scales, and she throws him off of him. You can see Reichstag tumble away. He flaps his wings, and he's strong for a moment, but then there's a falter, and he hits down to the ground. And for this first time in a long time, you see Reichstag look weak. It's probably the old wound he got from Vectra, as he just sort of falters and is flying momentarily. Alright, it is Aurora's turn. So she is going to focus on Vortodrex. Only one hits with the claw. So she deals 14 slashing damage against Vortodrex, as the bite just can't get past his magnificent scales. One claw is bashed away by the wing. The other claw comes out and just slashes him across his neck. And they just start tangling with, like, interlocking their necks, and their wings start flapping wildly as they, like a couple of dogs, they're like scratching against each other, and just tossing and tumbling. And then you can see the ground starts quaking and cracking as they crash into a nearby wall. You can see a pillar tumble over, and the cavern itself starts rumbling as dust from the ceiling begins falling down. Rennas, it's your turn.
Rennas is going to keep firing his bow. $18.
That is a miss. You fire the bow, and it just bounces off of her hard scars. Ding, 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 ding.
Is there anything for me to hide behind anywhere? I don't even go up a mountain or something, but
one of the columns just fell over. You could dash up towards there and try to stealth behind it.
Yep, that's where I'm going.
Yeah. 32 does beat Aurora's passive perception. She is momentarily distracted by her Vortodrex and everything happening, so she doesn't know where you are at the moment.
Danka danka.
But she doesn't like that though. So at the end of her turn, she is going to make a legendary action to do a detect, try and perceive where you are, and she does see you.
Fuck you bitch!
You are. Arrabella, it's your turn.
Go pew pew. 1 and 2.
Two hits. Your arrows literally break the sound barrier.
2, and I'm just gonna let's do that because otherwise I have to type.
That's nice. That's okay, so.
Oh, did you take the 5 poison damage? I know it's big ass dragon, little bitty, it's like a spider bite.
Yeah, it does. Every little counts. So you can add the poison damage on top of that.
Yeah. I rolled a 5, didn't I? So I'll take that.
Oh, so that's 20.
As much as I would really like it.
16, so 36 plus 14, 36, 36, 36, 40, 50 points of damage. Lovely.
Yay.
Hey.
Yeah, I'll move further away then.
All right.
So, kind of towards the entrance if I can, because I don't fancy being caved in. It's why I don't go spelunking, you know?
Aurora's going to make a legendary action to do a tail attack against the Vortigrex to try and get him off of her. That will miss again. It'll just bounce off against Vortigrex's wings as he continues to try and wrestle her down to the ground. Korgrin, you're up.
Kind of growling in frustration. Another guiding bolt. This one at 5th level. That will be spell attack. I think that hits.
That definitely hits, yeah.
So this will be 8d6. Huh. Same damage, 2 spell slots lower.
Nice. So, it's guiding bolt, right?
Yes.
Right. So the as you go to cast a spell, it releases from your hands, and with your insight that you rolled, you can see her eyes can see that you're doing it, but she also knows that with the Vortigrex being so up close, she has to take the damage, or else he'll know something that she doesn't want him to know. So the free into her face, you can see one of her scales flies off of her face, and there's a red raw area there where it got hit.
As a bonus action, could I shout out then? She's craftier than you know, Vortigrex.
I want you to make a persuasion roll versus her deception.
So a 0 against probably a plus 13 if I had to guess.
You never know.
Oh, it's okay. It's only a plus 6.
So Vortigrex is in the process of a fight at the moment. He just didn't hear those words at the moment. As in his mind, he's trying to subdue a very rabid dog.
Mm.
This is more akin to a wolf, or even a werewolf. You know, something with massive intelligence. Okay, so it is turn. So once again, Vortigrex is going to try and push Aurora down to the ground. (17). So Aurora is she's lifted off of her feet and she slides across the ground onto her side. As the Vortigrex flies upwards and lands onto her, and he calls out, "Reichstag!" Reichstag takes to the air, flies over towards Aurora, and goes to restrain her. And with that, with both of the dragons on top of her, they are pinning her down. And she's like, and she's unable to get out at the moment. It is Aurora's turn. I'm going to roll a quick d6. So she is just going to expend her cold breath towards Vortigrex, towards Reichstag, and towards anybody in range. But even as the icicles fly out from her face, her mouth, the two silver dragons are immune to this attack as they just tank the entire thing, and you see them shove their claws onto her mouth and pin her down. I'll say for the time being, combat is suspended because Aurora is restrained, unless you want to continue attacking her.
Nope, if she's restrained, I'd move round, still bow drawn, and I'd just yell at Aurora, "You know you're beat, submit while you still can."
Make an intimidation check. Oh,
That must be scary.
Aurora, taking around the situation, and you can see her wings kind of curl inwards a little bit as she goes docile. Anything you guys want to do?
You know the scale that fell off?
Yep.
How big is it?
Bigger than you.
Damn it. Could I pick it up?
Make a strength check.
Ugh. Oh, not meant to be advantage, but 13.
Oh, you just about pick it up, but it's like carrying a sheet of lead.
Korgrin, do you think you could make this into a shield for me?
If we get another, I can make one into a shield for you and for me.
I imagine we could probably make this one into a shield for both of us. As I'm there with it leaning against me, just kind of trying to make sure it doesn't squish me.
Rennas is going to like sidle up to Arri and say, maybe let's not discuss harvesting the dragon scales in front of all the fucking important dragons.
It's foraging. I am a ranger.
But I mean,
It's
it's
not being
foraging in
used.
full view. I mean, a little bit of decorum.
I
She's a
can't
bitch.
believe
Those
Rennas
two
is
are
talking
nice.
to you about decorum. You guys.
Rennas likes dragons, even evil cunty dragons. Or at least he respects the other two enough not to harvest her to bits while they're there.
Like, I'm not harvesting her to bits. I'm just harvesting the bits that fell off her. Might as well have a use for it.
Very true.
I'm happy to take the shield-like scale off of the small, teeny tiny little halfling.
Thank you.
Right.
So tempted to mention Shrike. I'm not going to, but
What else would you guys like to do?
I'd like to ask Korgrin what he was shouting about.
Oh, yes. She cancelled out some of my magic. There was a...
Lies!
You shut your fucking mouth before we harvest more of these bastard things.
Cancelled it out. Explain yourself, Master Dwarf.
As I prepared my spell with some of the vast power that Almighty Moradin has bestowed unto me,
Rennas rolled his eyes.
there was a... Watch it. There was a glint, a white flash in her eye, and the spell failed within my hands.
You do not know magic. No white dragon knows magic. It is not within your blood to do it. You do not know the capacity to.
This is as you say, Vortedrex. I know no magic. I am not smart like you.
Met plenty of demons that can do magic. Got some demon blood swimming around in that dragon of yours.
Never! I would never sully my great power with demonic intentions.
Do I believe a word she fucking says?
Make an insight check.
Also, please.
Thank you, because mine's -1. Oh, 18.
Okay. You both get the sense that what she just said was legitimately discussed, as in the actual idea of introducing demonic power into her great, powerful draconic blood is not only
Okay,
disgusting,
so not
but
demon blood.
insulting to her.
But something.
It seems odd that this entire time you've called slander and lies about everything that's been said to you, but this is the one instance where you agree. Seems awfully suspicious.
I agree, Aurora. You are hiding something. Speak, and you can see his claws dig into her neck a little.
I do nothing. I say and speak nothing of the pact. I lair, and I feast, and I hunt. That is all I do.
I'd like to prepare a spell.
Yeah?
I would like to cast Inflict Wounds. So this I don't want to say it's necrotic like black flame, but let's say for purposes of it being divine magic, it's this holy white scorching light that just erupts from Korgrin's hands. And I'd like to inch closer to one of her eyes.
Her eye is actually probably the size of your torso, and it slits downwards, facing you.
Reveal your secrets, or I'll take both. As I get closer in an attempt to blind one of her eyes.
Make an intimidation check. As if Vortex sort of assists you in this as he digs. Reveal what you hide, Aurora.
I inch closer, my palm is about to touch her hand. Touch her eye. Does she counterspell it?
She does. You see the white glosses over, and the spell dissipates. And the Vortex and Reichstag clearly see that. The Vortex, his head goes backwards and just goes, "What is this?" As Aurora immediately looks up, her eyes gloss over again, as if she casts a spell at a Vortex.
What spell is he doing? Oh, a spell, not dispel.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Well, none of us have counterspell or anything like that, so...
Needs to make a...
Fine, he has
saving
resistances.
I think that's a fail. Yeah. It
A
is.
lot.
I mean, I don't know if it helps that was an intelligence check. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
if
he's not proficient in intelligence saving throws, no. So, Vortex is immediately overwhelmed by this realization. Before he can even react, as Aurora's eyes gloss over again, before he can even speak, his eyes go a murky white color. And he goes limp as he sort of coys away and becomes completely and utterly docile as his mind has been feebled.
And so I started blasting.
Alright, go ahead. Make attack rolls, go right ahead.
21?
That will hit, yeah. Actually, no, she's so it's advantage.
Damn it! Come on! Yeah!
Yeah, that's a hit.
Do I recognize the spell?
Make an Arcana check.
Can I also do that? Because it's a dragon and I get advantage on intelligence checks against
I will not
my
do that
favourite
because it's
enemy.
magic shit.
I was going to say that I've been affected by Feeble Mind, so I should know what it is.
Yeah. You do both recognize that Vortex has been, his mind he's now been affected by Feeble Mind.
I don't know if we have actions or...
Well, a lot of stuff happens very quickly at first. So as he casts that, she immediately throws Vortex. Vortex kind of coils away and starts pressing downwards. So with Aurora's strength, she easily throws Reichstag off of him, who's a lot smaller than her. And Reichstag goes flying away, and you can see he tries to stabilize himself, but his injury from Vectra causes him to sort of stack his landing, and he goes spiraling away. She gets to her feet. Rennas unleashes an arrow which goes flying straight up into her chin, and you can see how embeds itself in there, and a bit of bluish blood pours out from that, and you can see where the blood actually hits the ground, it immediately freezes over. She's looking around immediately. Korgrin and Arrabella, you do have actions at this point?
Is if go on, you first.
I was just going to say I shoot up and I'll use Exploding Arrow on this one.
Alright, make an attack roll.
I never knew I was a heroin addict.
Hmm?
You're shooting up.
Shush.
That's
So
definitely
technically,
a
I
hit.
shoot up at everything because teeny tiny. 3d6 for the oath bow, and bursting arrow gives me 2d6 force damage.
14 plus 8. 22 points of damage, lovely.
And is Evotidrax within how far away is he from me?
I'd say he's like within 15, 20 feet of you.
Then I'd like to run over and
Right, so you rush over to...
Greater Restoration.
Okay. So, you cast Greater Restoration, and you can see his mind, which is like glossed over, and just... it's slowly coming back to realization of who it was. As a Vortidrex snaps off the vines that have wrapped around her, she flies upwards. She breathes around her, creating a large fog-like mist, which obscures your visions, and immediately you hear the beating of wings. And as the mist sort of like blasts away from the beat, you can see as she rushes over to the side of the room where she originally appeared from. She lands down on the circle, looks at the rest of you party, and she says,
The age of ice is coming. My lair. My power. Your king will give it all to me.
The age of that dead bitch war is coming.
She disappears in a flash of light.
Why are all your dragons fucking cowards, Jack? Make them fucking stand and fight.
Because she's not in the right there to fight.
Well, she's a little bit outnumbered, to be fair.
Yeah, she doesn't want to fight two fucking silver dragons who are immune to the one thing that makes her dominant over other things. So, you all take a deep breath. The area has come to a close. Vortidrex is shaking his head. Korgrin. Master Dwarf. Thank you. I am indebted to you. Who you and your blood are friend to the Silver Dragons. To the end of time.
It's very generous of you, Master Dragon. I appreciate this sign.
I am troubled by events that just took place. There has never been a white dragon that can utilize magic before. There have been other ancient whites in the past, but they were hunters. They were subservient to stronger chromatics. But Aurora, she schemes and she plots. More than meets to eyes to match her. It is without a doubt that she is clearly violating the Pact of the First Wings. She intends to create a legacy and an empire of her own. She has upset the balance of the world with her mad desires. Clearly, she naturally allies with that mad king of Windwood. How would you three propose we deal with her?
If she is camped somewhere underneath Windwood, I cannot see a way of getting to her without attacking the capital itself. So I think we have to follow through with our current plan, and I am sure she will come to the battlefield in the aid of the cowardly king.
That you come with us. We do not ask you to participate in our war in any other way. Just with Aurora and potentially Goliath, because we think he may have sided with the king, though not sure if it may be for his own gain. From what we've heard of him, he is a very selfish dragon who craves, well, power.
Any assistance you can provide, really, whether that be yourself or your kin, your flight, if you can put us in touch with other dragons that may be sympathetic to the cause, anything that you can offer to help balance the scales in the coming battles.
Anything to counter the power and apparently magic of Aurora.
I did not intend
And
the
her
pun of
horse.
scales as well. That was just coincidental.
Reichstag. He is the pride of my brood, the greatest of my children. It was he who I desire to lead the Silver Dragons. If he declares you his friends, then you already have the greatest that I can assist you with in your fight. But, as you may have seen, and this is no fault on you, my son, you're not to the scale of Aurora. And I suspect neither am I. She has bred and bred for the sole purpose of war. We cannot hope to match her in numbers. You will find that any of my children are more than a match than any of her offspring. I can assist you in your battle to bring down Aurora for this egregious violation of the First Winged Pact. For her transgressions, she must be destroyed. The law is very clear on this. But there has long been animosity between the metallics and the chromatics. If I get involved, we will start a series of events that are unavoidable. That will culminate in the interests of the other ancients across the world. Are you prepared to accept that?
I believe the knowledge and power of one such as yourself is worth taking the risk for. You have many, many thousands of years, and the books that you have read, the knowledge you must have gained, it will be invaluable to us.
Are the other chromatics not in on this pact as well? Will they not?
They are, but will view my participation in your war as a violation of the pact, and they will not believe me when I say that I am getting involved to stop Aurora, who has violated this pact. They will side against me on her side, in what they believe is their upholding of the first pact.
Can you not spread word to them prior? And, I don't know, can you not summon them here, hold a meeting of the ancient dragons and discuss it? Put forward what happened here today, what you both saw?
Even if they agree to the meeting, you would not trust my words.
I can be very
Fortunately,
persuasive.
the only one who they may even listen to is Elle, keeper of the wing. She is a voice of neutrality between the two dragon types, and she upholds the code of the First Wings to the letter.
Do you know where we could find her?
Just check. I can call for her. She lairs far in the south, beyond where any mortal has tread in generations. But I do not know if there is time. Iandel will definitely side with us when she hears of this violation. By that point, the other chromatics may already side with Aurora, and she would be compelled to attack them for violating the pact by siding with a traitor.
Do you have anything of hers that my I might say the word with esteemed colleague could use to send her a message without travelling there directly?
I have my own means to contact her.
Well, that sounds easier.
We would appreciate you putting forward our case. From the sounds of things, even if we ask you to do nothing, there is still the risk of the chromatics joining with Aurora. And if we can get
They will only side if I side with you. Aurora appears to be acting in secrecy. She will continue to do this. She seems to be adept at it. If I get involved, the annals of time will stop being read. A great change will be about the Horde. The others will know.
surely you just contacting her to raise this break of the pact would not be seen as you going against Aurora, just, dragon politics. Letting, the great peacekeeper, like, I know you're the peace scriber, but the one who is the talker between the chromatics and the metallics.
And
Surely
as I said, if I did this, you might not have enough time before Aurora acts anyway. Do you want to risk the loss of your country in the hope that the chromatics will not side with her?
It's a toss-up of, do we want to get destroyed by demons or do we want to get destroyed by dragons currently? Like, I guess it's more of a certainty that it's the end of the world with demons. But I know dragons can be ridiculously ferocious, and anyone who survives the demon war will then get burnt to a crisp or frozen or poisoned or whatever other dragons
Unless you can slay her before it gets that far.
Did we
do not
do it?
know where she lairs. I do not see how we could possibly get to her.
Oh, we got a scale. That should help.
Oh, potentially we could scry on her and see, because presumably she's back at her lair, or she's going back to her lair. Reasonable.
I know that she lairs close to your capital.
Mm.
Exactly where, I do not know.
So how do you think she learnt magic? Do you think she's a albino silver dragon?
I do not know. Never happened before. It's possible for any dragon to learn magic. It's just that whites have always been more akin to beasts than actual dragons. Maybe she learned to overcome this weakness. In which case, she'd be the most ferocious and probably one of the most dangerous ancient dragons in the world.
I'm gonna spam her so hard. Korgrin, can we send her a sending every day just being like, I know where you are? And then kind of run back into the place.
Um,
Intimidation tactics.
It seems rather suicidal. We can try. Maybe she'll give up the goose, as it were.
I can promise you two things. I can promise you that if I summon Irondale here for a meeting of the two kinds, it will occupy the other chromatic ancients for a significant number of time, as these matters seldom go quickly. If I did this, it would not be too far of a shout to say that the chromatics would not get involved in your war. The alternative is, I and my children can side with you. But doing so would start a series of events that would most likely culminate in the other chromatics joining your enemy, side with Aurora, in which case we would have to call all the metallic ancients to our side to match them in power.
I suppose there's always the threat that happens anyway, as Reichstag is already assisting us with the war. So, if word
Assisting
did ever...
and directing are two different things. Reichstag does not violate the pact, Aurora does.
Fair
As
enough.
of Goliath does not violate the pact. He is assisting and not leading.
You got any friends that are not dragons? Any nice, powerful friends that could help us in your place?
Is there any information you have learned that could help us without you getting involved directly?
That's a good question, actually. I didn't expect that question.
I mean, he's literally sat here, thousands of years old, surrounded by every book imaginable. I imagine he knows quite a lot.
He does know quite a lot. I'm just thinking more about the powerful friends question, actually.
Got to have made some over the years, and there's a lot of long-lived creatures out there. Maybe not as long-lived as
I'm
him.
just trying to think of who I know, who Reichstag would know, that would qualify for what you're asking, actually. Give me a minute, please.
Give you homework.
Okay. So, if Vortex would recommend... this is a really difficult question.
Like, if you want, you can have a think about it. In
I'm
terms
thinking
of how
about it.
No, as in like a proper think about it, where you're not on the spot, sort of thing. Because I know your world is massive. You would literally have tomes and tomes of information.
Okay, so he would recommend Peritanius, the war chief of Territan, country far to the east. He would also recommend Islora, the brass dragon of Assyria Draca. Would also recommend the Sunset Queen of the Fey Realm.
You be able to put in a word for us, or is there something that we can say to help convince them to join our side?
So, Teratanius is a reactionary fellow. He's wiser than he puts on, but if you point him in the direction of a good fight, he'll most likely listen. The Brass Dragon of Aceria Draca will act in the best interests of Aceria Draca, and if Aceria Draca is in trouble, then they will act. And the Sunset Queen slumbers at the moment. If she was to waken, she'd either be a powerful enemy or a powerful ally. It would really depend on her mood. Oh, that's my answer for powerful friends that Ivortadrex has. As for your question, Rennas, I have collected every known historical tome since the inception of history itself. I am familiar with the annals of time, starting with the creations of the Colossus, down the very formations of a rebel force in the country of Windward. I cannot say my collection is complete, but I can say I know most of what you would like to know.
Do you know what happened with our ancestors? Do you know
That's the
why?
one thing that eludes me. I have never known this. I do not know why they betrayed and killed the king of Windward Raziel. They adored him as if he was a grandfather. They loved each other. They loved their country. To know this would shake the foundations of history itself. Sure. And I very much desire to know.
If we ever find out, I will come back and tell you.
Such a collection would be a great boon to my horde. You would be rewarded well.
Promises of rewards from a dragon. Vanessa's eyes just light up.
I don't suppose you ever knew Argus. Argus Nathaniel?
That is not a name I've heard in a very long time. He was the first, the king, the originator of magic, the sealer of the Colossus.
Do you know how he became Argoneth?
Became Argoneth?
I'm like, sorry, am I meta-ing now, or does Arri actually know this?
None of us know this. We all kind of suspect this.
Yeah, you suspect
Okay.
this.
Oh, like it's just something I suspect, like Argus Nathaniel, Argoneth, and it just seems like everything that we've kind of come across, it just seems to be pointing more and more towards it. I don't have hard proof, unfortunately.
He was around at a time with people with very similar names to ours as well. There's definitely some sort of connection through the weaves of time that me and my non-magical brain do definitely not understand.
Argus Nathaniel died. A hero. A king.
Of old age?
Oh. When the age of creation was over, and the age of chaos began, the Tarask was born and struck down the Colossi. The Colossi, however, were tied to the material realm, and their bodies began seeping energy from the material realm to rejuvenate. The land was going to die. Argus took the souls of the Colossi into himself destroying himself in the process. Doing so, he gave the material realm back to the mortals and allowed civilization to go on. It is by this great deed that the Pact of the First Wings came about. We dragons, the descendants of the elements, vow never to interfere with the civilizations that would spring forth and crumble with the annals of time. Argus Nathaniel was the one who gave humanity the choice to exist, to build, and to destroy itself. It deemed so. And we, the followers of this pact, continue this tradition to this day.
Wasn't Argus a human, though?
He was.
And he took the Colossus into himself.
Their souls and their essence, yes. Doing so destroyed him.
Thank
But with that sacrifice, the Colossus would no longer seep energy from the world. And all became well again.
you. And his body was never found?
His body was taken.
Oh, you cut out then for me.
His body was taken by his companions of the time and buried somewhere secret. It was never discovered where. But I like to think somewhere peaceful.
I imagine it is. And on the risk of my companions groaning at me, don't suppose you know much about Ed Gatalion, do you?
I know of him. What do you wish to know?
How did he get so powerful?
How he came to be the way he is. How old he is as well. Like, truly how old he is.
I suspect his age is between 40, 45, maybe a little older. Maybe early 50s, perhaps.
Okay.
What he is a man consumed with vengeance. How he became so powerful is spite. His hate has driven him further than most mortals. I suspect an influence from an alternative presence has also unlocked his latent abilities. But make no mistake, Edgar Talion is the single most dangerous mortal to walk your planet.
It's kind of like, you know, the whole thing. I would do it, but I got glasses on. But where you kind of rub down your face and kind of like with your eyes. And I was just like, cool, cool. Put my hands in my pockets. Oh, my sister drew this for you, by the way. It's something that she treasures a lot, and it's definitely going to be something you don't have in your library. And I'll hand it over.
The paper floats out of your hand and comes towards Vortidrex. He opens it up. What does he see?
I'll leave that to George.
Verity, what does Vortidrex see?
Sorry.
Where is it? Where is it? Where did you go, you little bastard?
It's in our chat, if that helps.
1 second. Oh god, so much crap from my friends. Okay, I put it into the doodles thing. It's loading, it's loading, it's loading.
Interesting.
Yeah.
She's very artistic. And she just wanted to give that because she knew that she couldn't come with us. She doesn't make drawings for everyone, so definitely a treasure worth keeping.
Debatable.
Hey, she's the connection to the weave. Like, hopefully one day you'll get to meet her, and I'm sure you'll sense something odd about her. Possibly in more ways than one.
Maybe its value would increase with time.
Yeah.
Often, once the artist dies, the value goes right up.
Well, I will gladly answer any of your questions, but I feel time is against us. I need to know. Do you want me to occupy the other chromatics in dragon politics? Or do you wish for me and my children to side with you, defeat Aurora?
Like, I feel like if they're wrapped up in politics, then they're not going to be able to fight with Aurora. So it would take additional dragons away.
True, but the reason we came here was to gain the assistance of Vortigrex. So
Yeah.
I feel we'd be leaving somewhat empty-handed with the potential of a potential threat being occupied, not a guaranteed one. I'm all for playing it safe, but right now, this isn't just Aurora with a handful of dragons. This is Aurora with possibly hundreds of dragons.
But if a Vortigrex joins and we get a handful of silver dragons, but we get far more other dragons against us, that's a net loss.
But
There's
then the other metallics would side with you. The other ancient metallic dragons would side with you. Taghoto, protector of the sky, Zeiss, the valorous, Ralgef, the wandering sage, Iandol, keeper of the wing, all fight against them.
You know what?
I didn't realise we were getting all. I thought we were only getting you and your brood.
If the chromatics side with Aurora, then it's a matter of keeping with the pact. The metallics would side with me.
I feel like we're going to have to just accept your help.
I agree.
Yes, yeah, I think we would humbly accept your help with Vortigrex. I understand that this goes against your very nature, so it is very much appreciated.
Very well. And I shall call my children to me. And when ready, we will fly out to meet Aurora in your war. Reichstag, I charge you to be the protector of these people. Make sure no harm comes to them. Yes, Father, I shall do this. If you wish to seek out the other ancient metallics, I will tell you where to find them. Taghoto, protector of the sky, the ancient gold dragon, can be found in the ruins of Gyzax, in the northeastern country of Assaria Draca. I know him to be an honest defender of the Assyrians. He is personal friends with their prince, Nile. Zeiss the valorous bronze dragon is the queen in disguise of the draconic craglands, and she will rise to action if she knows Windward has sided with demons after the blood of the Dragonborn shed to protect Windward from demons in the last war. She will view this as a betrayal. I will call Iondal here and inform her of the situation. She will act as best dictates of the pact. And Ralgaf, the wandering sage, the ancient brass dragon, he will be hard to track down, but I know he wanders the furthest reaches of the east, looking for the most interesting people to talk with. Make yourself known there. After the vision that we all shared of your battle inside that room, he might even seek you out already. I know he cares for the common folk, and he will seek to protect them.
Would it not be quicker for you to find them and tell them of the war?
I will be calling my children to me, and they are scattered across the realm.
Do you have a token that we could take to these dragons to show them that we have your support?
He reaches up and pulls out from underneath his scale a small little badge that is a depiction of a golden scaled wing with streaks of bronze and copper and metallic in it. It's a very. I want actually Korgrin. Go ahead and make a religion check, please. You know this as a sign of the trusted, one of the rarest and most glorious artifacts of Bahamut himself. Any who possess this will be known as an honest individual who speaks with the integrity and the authority of one blessed by Bahamut himself. Any dragon, and at least any metallic dragon who sees this, will know that you did not steal this, but it would be given to you as a proof of your worthiness.
Who does he hold it out to?
He just holds it out.
I just stare Rennas in the eye and go, I'll take this one.
I mean, I asked for it. I'm a trusted individual. What do you mean?
You don't know this.
I
You don't
know, and that's why it's just in my head. That's why I let you take it.
Very religious artifact, if you don't mind. I'll kind of hold my hand out to receive it.
He places it in your hand. It's a lot heavier than you thought it would. Like your hand actually like dips down a little bit, but it's warm to the touch. You hold it, and it can serve as an alternative focus for divine magic.
What was it called?
The trusted symbol of Bahamut.
Thank you.
Doesn't really have a name. It's more of
Yeah.
an ideal or an explanation sort of thing.
Okay. If you don't mind, Great Devotedrex, I have some questions myself.
Speak. We'll listen.
If I remember rightly, we were made aware of the locations of the 4 colossi that still, whose earthly bodies still exist within the plane.
Yes.
We have encountered the Colossus of Earth within the dwarven city of Drogan de Morda. And we were told, or we learned, that there was of course, 3 others. One namely being the Water Colossus, which was supposedly below a silver dragon in the ocean. Might this be here?
Just a moment.
Mm-hmm. This is what happens when someone keeps notes. Haha.
Yep. I have to get my notes out. No. It was not my charge. All families were charged by Argus to watch over the Colossus's bodies until the end of time. They were the Neverwinds, the Platetorms, the Jerises, and the Teloses. The Teloses were the ones slated to guard the Colossus of Water, Azul. The Platetorms were slated to guard the Colossus of Earth, Gaia. The Netherwinds were slated to guard the Colossus of Elle. And the Jeruses were assigned to guard the Colossus of Fire. Though over time the Telosies lost their way. Eventually they became corrupt, and they destroyed themselves by summoning Argoneth 33 years ago.
Could you put those family names in the chat? So the Netherwinds were the air.
Yep.
The Platytomes were obviously earth.
Yep.
Jeruses were fire, and the Telosi were water.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
It's not spelt the same, but is Jerus any relation to Jerus Jakai? From bastardization over the years?
Jukai Jerus was the founding king of the city that you now call Jerus Jukai, and was a direct descendant of the Jerus that formed this pact.
Fire is now a home of ice.
I suspect Aurora would have made that distinction and found it humorous.
So what would you be able to tell us then of where this water colossus may be? So it's not here, this would be in Talia, is that correct?
Yes.
Right.
Though I suspect the body is not but a lake now. Wherever there is a large body of water, that's where life does not dwell inside. That is the body of Azul.
Fair enough. That is very useful information. And the Air Colossus, we believe we know where the fire is, and that's No Man's Isle. All we know about the air is that it's in the air, possibly the clouds, or surrounding the peak of the highest mountain of the world. To my understanding, that was Mount Celeste, where this is Mount Celeste, no?
This is Mount Celeste, and the body of Sefri does not exist here. His body exists in the clouds overhead, the very air you breathe.
As in here, or just the royal here?
The royal here.
Right. Too easy.
If anything, the only physical body that remains would likely be Gaia, as he is earth. Azul was water. Vernian was fire. Sefri was air. Non-corporeal. Without the heredity to keep them together, they would likely disperse. But I'm sure their fragments remain somewhere. This is why families were tasked to guard over it.
And we were told that the Aarakocra watched over the Air Colossus. Do you know where we might find those?
They're very close by to your capital city. The highest point of the Razier Mountains. Not as tall as Mount Celestia, but their domain does break the clouds of the sky.
It's very useful. Thank you very much for this knowledge.
No. Well then, if you wish to return to your home, Step on the circle that Aurora came out of. I shall send you back with Reichstag. Then I will gather my children. What would you guys like to do?
Just out of curiosity, you know the helmet we gave you earlier?
You mean the crown?
Yes.
Yes. What of it?
Does it do anything, or is it just symbolic?
There's a symbolic luck to it. Maybe it is imbued with something. But only mortals have never truly gathered the depths of what it is. For me, it is a great addition to my hoard.
If you ever learn what that might be or it might entail, would you let us know?
I suspect it is just superstition, but I will let you know if it does hold any properties.
Thank you very much. Again, your assistance has been greatly appreciated, and we will remember this great gesture.
I will remember you and your blood. Till the end of my days, I will teach your scent to my children, and they to their children's children, and so on. I count the families of Bravebeard, of Deep Hollow, and Genlar as eternal friends of the Silver Dragons.
To be cheeky, you know this magnificent hoard that you have? Don't suppose you've got any, dragon slaying arrows or
My
weapons?
hoard is education only. I do not like to hoard weapons. I am the peace scriber, not the war gatherer.
Is there a war gatherer?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
Would kind of, since someone's being cheeky, would that also
He looks a bit exasperated now.
would that also be manuals of enhancement?
Yes, I possess several of those.
Any that you would care to part with?
No.
Understandable. Have a nice day. Quickly step onto the fucking circle. Deeply bow. Very deep, like my nose is almost touching the floor.
It's
I mean, it
in
practically
that
is anyway, you're tiny.
It's in that moment do you realise if Autodrex is a dragon, and like all other dragons, he protects his hoard very diligently.
Don't
That's
ask,
fair.
don't get. It was nice meeting you.
Thank you
Nice.
so much for everything. Your help has been unimaginably helpful.
Well, we will meet again soon. With that, Reichstag steps onto the circle. You see Vortodrex raise his claw. The circle itself glows with a faint silvery blue, and you all vanish and appear in the summoning circle outside of Half-Orc. And the hut itself is completely destroyed by the sudden inclusion of Reichstag the Brave's dragon form.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And the guards assigned to the area immediately lose their shit over the sudden appearance of a dragon. Probably should have become human form. Oops.
Well, also, the guards of our home should learn to recognise you in all forms.
A dragon just appeared out of nowhere and broke a house. They fucking freaked out.
Yeah, these are level 1 fighters with bows, and they've gone, dragon!
I suppose
not
a
even
housebroke, fair enough.
I'm not even going to try and think too hard about how he knew the summon circle and that
Yeah.
we wanted to come here.
Yeah.
Because he's the peace scriber, he knows that shit.
Yeah.
So he knows of this place, but he doesn't know it's where Argos was buried.
Technically, Argus wasn't buried here. Argus was buried in weird.
Yeah,
den
true.
thing.
Just the tree here that could send us there. Okay.
Yeah, which is now even
You're
just more
also
concerning.
you're also aware Reichstag it did inform his father where he was and where he's going, and yeah,
Yeah.
you didn't turn up unexpected. If Vortodrex knew you were coming, so
Very
Okay.
true.
Big true.
meanwhile,
Well, the second we land. Oh, sorry.
I apologize for the wait, guys. I appreciate the fact that it's been about an hour and a half.
This is what happens when we
So-
send the 3 people who talk the most in the same party.
Hee
There were dragons.
Yeah, I must say that Team Mushroom are kind of efficient.
yeah.
I mean,
So-
are we?
Did you get an army of dragons?
I said efficient, not
No,
effective.
but you did get an army of 200 stone giants.
I don't know. I smell shenanigans.
So, you guys spent the better part of a couple of hours ever since you solidified your alliance with Laos, getting to know just stone giant culture a little bit. Laos has told you a bit more about the Ordering, the hierarchy of dragons. He is aware that the hill giants
Giants.
did serve your enemy, but a recent change has come about them. And the new Hill Lord, bear with just a moment. The old Hill Lord, Gonk of the Hill Giants, was killed recently, and his brother Golk of the Hill Giants became the new Hill Lord. And has recently rebelled against the king. As Gonk did side with the king, for reasons unknown to Vlaus, Golk has 180'd that and has turned against the king. You guys know why Golk has done that. You freed him, basically, or convinced him to, not be so slavey to them anymore. The Hill Lord has connections with the Stone Lord. Stone Lord has connections to the Frost Lord, Titan Icebane. The Frost Lord has connections to the Fire Lord. The Fire Lord has connections to the Cloud Lord. And the Cloud Lord would have connections to the fabled Storm Lord. He says he would tell you that if you would like to follow the Ordering, if you would like to get the giants to join your side, where is it? Okay, no, I've got too many fucking notes. Jesus Christ! If
You
want
did this to
have,
yourself.
yeah, I really did. If you wish to have the other giants join you, you can challenge them each to the Balnortir, the ancient rite of combat in favour within the giants. Each hierarchy of giant is bound to this as dictated by the Ordering. He will provide directions through the Underdark if you wish the Titan Icebane. Wish to meet with him. He knows that if you get Titan Icebane on side, then he would likely lead you on to the Fire Lord, and then on so. That's if you wish to focus on gathering more giants to your cause.
I think we're going to take those directions, whatever they may be, and probably speak with the others before we go, because I'm quite tempted to see what we can do there. But it just depends, we've got so many other things to do as well. So, because because of reasons, lots of logistical reasons. So I think I'll take the directions from what he says, but I'll write him down and save him for a rainy day.
Okay. So he'll happily share that information with you. And then he'll go back to preparing his people for a march into the endless sky world. A lot of stone giants treat... Well, you've met Guam and Crimlog, and they were different stone giants, but their reactions to the surface world were on par with most stone giants in that they treat it like a dream world, and they're not fully aware of the things that will happen, or they'll disbelieve the very things that they see in front of their eyes. So, what would you guys do from here?
Ew, the mushrooms.
Well, I am tempted to try and contact the other team first. How much time has passed since we split ways?
3 days.
3 days.
Hmm.
Okay. Does that call for a check-in?
Well, none of us are a puddle.
That was our travel time.
Okay. So the sending stones, it's once per day?
Mm-hmm.
So it could be worth doing that.
I mean,
Do you
I
want to
was
do the call?
thinking of doing the sending. If Jack wants to determine when that's an appropriate time, I was going to sending once we got back.
I'd say it would be after you guys have gotten back.
In the middle
Oh
of
yeah,
combat.
but I just mean like with this team basically, with Mushroom Team.
It'll be, I mean, it could happen whenever to be honest, you guys, it's up to you.
I'm going to say save the sending in case we get into an emergency and we need them to come to us ASAP.
Then
Like,
I'm-
you know, Sarah.
Well, this is the thing, is that like we were supposed to go here and then onto the mushroom people, and that was kind of what we were going to do, and nothing has gone bad yet. So I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, yeah, let's just keep going. We'll check in later. They never check in with us. Why should we check in with them?
I'm happy to do a sending then, and just
Alright.
it would be very brief. Just went well with Evotidrex. Aurora was summoned. Weird dragon laws. This will be to Otti, by the way. Silver dragons on side might involve chromatics. Don't know. Back at base. See you soon.
Was that to me, or was that through the sending stone?
That was to you. And it's
Um,
with my sending as a spell.
okay, I would reply, yay, good to hear. Yay, good to hear. Stone giants on side. Ballad is influential. Going to see mushrooms. Kay, love you, bye. Yeah, guys, they're fine. They got dragons. They met Aurora, which is concerning. Not too concerning. We can catch up with them on the way back, though. We'll go grab the mushroom, the Myconol colonies and see if what their deal is, and then make our way back.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And then we'll go and see some stone giants, maybe, and then some snow giants. Well, we've already seen the stone giants, so So then we'll go and see some snow giants, then some fire giants, and then the fire giants connected to the cloud giants, and the cloud giants connected to the storm lord.
How long is the walk between here and the Mykonoi colonies?
Depends on the speed at which you go at, but it's going to be probably about 4, maybe 5 days or so.
I'm determined to might turn back if Verity's going to sing that the whole bloody way.
I didn't think it was 4 days walk. It looks really close on the map.
Oh, no, because it's 3 days walk from
Oh no, it's not where I thought it was. Yeah.
Stuff to the Stone Lord.
Oh boy.
But yeah, you got a bit of a track ahead of you.
Are we just gonna leave the big boys at base for 4 or 5 days?
Yeah, it's going to be their choice if they want to go and do something else in the meantime or how they want to do it. But they know we're going this way. And after about 1 day, I'd be like, I'll probably do the message there and be like, we're days away. It's taking too long. Just so they know that we're still got some
I'm trying
time.
to figure out where the frost giant thing is on the map. Oh, it's way so much
All
further
past the
away.
capital.
Yeah. Alright, even if we had a secret passage.
You also
that's
know
fine.
the Frost Giants are currently under siege.
Yeah. About time to challenge them to a duel.
Or, hear me out, the perfect time to challenge them to a duel because all their big warriors will be out fighting. Just saying.
So ladder scared you can't take on a big one.
Logistically speaking, and I'm just going to give you a little hint as a DM, you might not be able to get to them in time if you walk. They've been under siege for several weeks, and there's only so much that the Frost Giants can hold out against 3 armies plus the White Horde. So if you want to follow the ordering, speed is of the essence.
Oh god.
Well, what I might do then, after the first day of walking, and we've gotten hardly anywhere, and we're still walking, I'm going to do a message with the sending stone back to Korgrin,
Okay.
and I'm going to say,
I just so happen to leave the dome because I'm expecting a sending at some point during the day.
well, this is it. We
Just
had
a single.
the previous arrangement that it was like at dawn and stuff. That's when you come out the thing with I think it was Zaphos we had it with. So I would do it as early as possible to the morning, and just hope it gets to him.
It was one of the women that we've got. I remember if it's the elf or
yeah, it was
I think it was the elf.
yeah.
I can't remember it.
Yes. No, I can't. Red hair.
Mm-hmm.
Next moment.
Aurelia?
No,
Ella.
that's it.
I was close. Ella's kind of in Aurelia.
Alwis is the transporter. Ella was the one who you asked to basically act as your chaperone of information.
So yeah, at the
Do
dawn.
we know?
Go on, George.
God. I was just going to say, did we learn how the Mykonoi colonies would be helpful? Because I'm just trying to weigh it between the two.
They reanimate corpses by infusing them with
Oh,
spores.
yeah.
But it's not necromancy, so it's okay.
It's vegan necromancy.
Yeah, sure. Necromancy light.
We've now added spore.
So yeah, I'm going to do a sending stone to Korgrin.
Yep.
And I'm going to say, 1 day into walk, taking forever. Worried. Ice Bane. Might need negotiations. and there's 9 words left. Is there a way that I can get the directions for them through the Underdark through those 9 words?
That
East
was 9
of-
words.
East
That was
of
That
Kai.
was 11 words. Well, there's loads of words left. I don't
East
look.
of Kai, underground. Follow the
Sound of mushroom.
ice path.
Okay, I would give the directions to Korgrin then. However the way would be in limited words, I'd give it to Korgrin so that he had them. So that if they decide that we're going to be ages, then they can go and do that if needs be.
Okay. May I respond, Korgrin?
Oof, that's rough. Long walk, kinda sucks. We'll keep that in mind. Best of luck. Don't get eaten. Or spored. That's it. I don't know what else to say really.
Okay.
You two are quite smart. What do you mean by spored? As I'm talking to Verity and Russ.
Maybe he meant bored, but he said it wrong because he's an idiot.
That's what I wanted to say. Thank you so much, Verity. Not the idiot part, just that you might have missaid bored.
Knowing basics about mushrooms, maybe mushroom spores? Don't know what that would entail, though.
You think I'll become mushroom zombies? I hope I become a bleeding mushroom. Like the bleeding crystals. You know those mushrooms, they're like white and they look like they're bleeding.
So how many psychic damage do we take from this 4-day-long walk with Verity being mental throughout the whole thing?
24.
Hey,
Thanks. That 1 per hour for every day that we walk.
Are we sure we're making the right decision? That we're foregoing potentially several huge groups of giants in favor of one group of mushrooms that may exist?
well, I just think the mushrooms are going to be able to replenish our numbers when they go down. I feel like that would be an important advantage to have in the front lines.
Or I mean, I don't want to say it and I don't want to think about it, but they could also potentially reanimate whatever the word Catan used for the people that are on our side that were on the enemy side. They're now all dead though.
It's having to choose between the two that's the problem.
And this is why I gave the directions to Korgrin so that he had them. If we're, it's a long walk. We're kind of like here. I get the map out, and we're kind of like here, and we need to get here, and it's been ages. So potentially they've got the chance if they feel like they are a big enough asset, then they can go and get them. But we can't just leave these guys. We need to at least pre-warn them that something's coming.
No, agreed. But it's remember.
And it's like, whilst these giants might be. Ooh, sorry.
No, I was going to say it's not just losing the frost giants, but also the fire giants, the cloud giants, the fey giants. It's a lot of giants, all the more powerful than those we've encountered so far.
Well, like, whilst the giants might be, an initial strong force, I still think the Myconids, if the Myconid brings someone up and that someone goes down again, they can just bring that person back up again.
They would,
in theory, be throwing more corpses.
Potentially unlimited numbers versus exceptionally strong but limited numbers of troops.
Yeah, but getting both would be good.
And both would be great.
So Korgrin was
But it also
basically
makes
like,
me feel
okay,
like-
bye.
Well, I mean, the king wasn't able to get Titan Icebane on his side, and now he's dedicating 3 armies and a horde to wipe him out, so he's a legitimate threat that the king is actually focusing on at the moment.
Yeah. And I just think, it would also kind of be good in the long run that if people who go down continue to get up and fight, and then they go down again, it would stop another live person going down. Like, we would be saving more people in the long run, if that makes sense.
We definitely want the Myconids on our side.
And I'm pretty sure that Catan would be too busy jizzing in his pants to even do anything horrible.
So, when a plant does it, it's fine, but when I do it, it's evil. Where's the justice?
When
Not
a plant
evil,
got
just
so fucking creepy.
When a plant uses magical spores, that's okay. When I employ the dark arts of necromantic forces, suddenly it's suspicious.
This is where we get there, and all the mushrooms sound like fucking guitar.
Okay. Well, as you guys discussed,
No, don't do that!
we'll see what happens. Anything can happen. On the first day of travel for Team Mushroom, you get attacked by a raiding group of Drow and Quaggoth. Not much of an issue. You're able to deal with them easily enough. They're not affiliated with the Arrabella. They look like they're just a raiding group, potential slavers and the like. On the second day, you traverse through a cavern that was once a battlefield between the armies of Filiderzan and the Duergar. It has since been abandoned to the creatures of the Underdark, and you guys come across an area where you get accosted by undead ghosts. Ancient warriors of both Filiderzan and the Duergar, constantly locked in battle with each other. Once again, not much issue for you guys at your level.
Every time we end up having to kill one of these ghosts, I'm just like, I'm so sorry, Korgrin!
On the third day, you run into a group of armored reptilian-like creatures with large claws and spikes that kind of remind you of the Sluddy, but they're a lot smaller and a lot more foul-smelling. You know them as troglodytes. Once again, not much issue for you guys. You deal with them quite handedly.
I was going to say, weren't they the ones that the capital got onto their side?
No, those are the Bullywuggians.
Oh, the Bullywuggians. The Bullywuggians, that's so cute. Bullywuggians.
Can I try and write and memorize where the battleground is for Filiderzan in case Korgrin wants it?
Yeah. I mean, chances are he may have even fought in it, so in his younger years.
It's something that I'll be like, we saw this. Do with this info as you wish. If fancies a day trip out.
On the last day of travel,
No, you'll take us on a history trip.
you come across a couple of kobolds that are lost, and they ask you for directions.
What's a kobold?
It's a small little reptilian, almost. Basically, imagine like a dragon reptile, like humanoid creature, but they're very small, very scrawny, and very dumb.
Are the myconoid colonies inside the Underdark or outside of it?
They're inside the Underdark.
If they don't, they're being polite and they're not being aggressive in any way, shape, or form.
It's more of a case of like they're being a little annoying. It's like,
And here we go. Yeah. We only went down that way. No, we don't find it that way. No. Where's this rock? Have you seen this rock before?
Like that
Like-
sort of thing.
Like a hand-drawn map that they've drawn, and it just means nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I know any entrances apart from the one at Parfadellen to get them out.
Whilst this is happening, pretty much all your passive insight will pick up that the second kobold is trying to pickpocket Verity.
I want to
Oi!
slap his hand away.
And they run away.
No!
I was going to help them.
You suspect it was a ruse, they were just trying to distract you to pickpocket you.
Traumatizing to make my eyes go dark.
They're
See,
terrified.
yeah.
They pee themselves, they run away.
Verity, you have to be more suspicious after what happened to us in the woods last time. You helped that girl that was actually
Very
this big ugly
suspicious.
fuck.
I am
Moving
plenty sus.
Right. On the end of the last day of travel, you, following the directions given to you, you are able to come to a strange area laced with moss and fungal. It's a strange place. The very plants that grow in here seem to sway with an unknown energy or wind or whatever. Venturing a little bit further, it opens up and you find a very large cavern with massive mushrooms, and we're talking like probably about 120 feet in radius each one, scattered around this place. The very center of this cavern is the biggest overgrown mushroom you have ever seen in your life. This thing is skyscraper size. And it looks like it's been built into itself. Like there are windows and apartments inside this mushroom. Each structure of it has been ingrained and fomented into itself as if carefully crafted by a biologist or something, but it looks natural, but it looks unnatural in its sense. Entering a little bit further, you can see that some of the mushrooms start moving away from you. Skittle across. You can see one little mushroom sort of like bobs up and down like a jellyfish. And just like sort of hurries away from you a little bit. And going further into what can only be called as a settlement, eventually from one of the plants, this humanoid creature plucks itself away as if it was embedded from it and was born from the stalk of this mushroom. This creature itself looks fungal in nature, with holes dotted all around its body, layers upon layers of algae and fungi just lavers its being. It has two arms and legs, and they're like long and wavy. It has a face, but with no visible facial structure that you're familiar with. It has eyes, but it has no nose, no mouth. It just has slits. It doesn't really have much of a head in the sense of like a straight head. It has like mushroom-like heads, where it just grows outwards, but like cropped here and there around. And it just kind of sways back and forth. Bits of mushrooms and stuff just falling off of his body with each progressive movement. Doesn't say anything. It's just watching you.
I'd like to give it a cute smile.
Does
Just
not
to kind of
respond
appear
to the smile.
friendly.
do you guys want to do?
Can I think I'm still attuned to it. Nope, I'm not attuned to it. Don't worry.
Okay.
I just wanted to be like, hello?
Continues swaying back and forth. Almost like a dance or a trance or something. It's not
I
breaking
tried
eye
to.
contact.
I tried to mimic their dancing.
Make a performance check.
Not proficient in performance, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, you match it quite well, actually. And it cocks its head to the side and sees that you're making an effort. Then it stops. Points up to its throat. And then points towards you. Sort of pointing towards your mouth area and then points back to itself. With a lack of it.
Oh,
I
Juice.
ca-
Sorry, go on.
I cast message at it, and I say,
We all have message, don't we?
I think we all have message.
Yay!
Can we do a group message?
What's that?
Welcome to the group chat, mushrooms.
I mean, Verity could.
I'll send a message to it and say, can you communicate with us like this?
Yeah, I can, eh?
They're Canadian. So I guess throughout the time we just communicate them via message.
If you want to.
Just looking at the other two, because I'm assuming we see the look of realization on Otti's face when she gets a response.
Yes, I don't say, oh my god, they're Canadian for a start. It's more a case of, I think they can talk telepathically.
No,
You've got magic like that, Russ, haven't you?
Yeah, but do we
so
have to
I
all do
think
this
we need to start
separately?
Yeah, I think we need to find the leader. And Verity, do you still have that thing that you can talk to everyone?
The
I don't
I
know.
can make it so it can be
Everyone
telepathically
magic.
bound. I still have telepathic bond. It'll take me 10 minutes to cast it. If we want to do that with this guy, or if you want to just message to see if there's anyone leader-wise that we could. In short, I would like to cast it as little as possible because I don't want to wild magic fireball this place.
Why would you jinx it? Why would you do that?
Because I have to take valid reasoning.
I may take this one. And I'll look at it out to and quickly sort of step in. Be like, hello, we've come from the land above.
Down under.
Well,
Well, what brings you around these parts then?
we've come to humbly request your help in upcoming political matters.
My help. Can't say I'm very good with political matters.
We were wondering
Or are
if
they
you
Irish?
could pointing.
Canadian Irish.
Do you have a leader or a chief negotiator or something that
Oh,
could?
yeah. You want to be looking for the melded one.
The melded one.
He'd be the communal union of everyone and everything around here.
Okay. Would you mind showing us the way?
Would you Would you be too bothered if I did something first?
Would you care to share what that is?
It's just a way for us all to talk with each other.
I'll look at Ellie too. I'll be like, he wants to message his friends. Go ahead. In message.
Takes a few steps forward. Like each step he makes is like a squishy kind of noise. He gets within 5 feet of you three. And then spores blast out from him. All over your faces. You get a good breath of it. It fucking smells awful. And then in your head you can hear, well, that'll be better now, eh? You can hear me now?
I can, but that's not what I was expecting. I didn't realize I was involved in this.
Oh, hey, this is the best way for you to communicate down here. We don't really have any vocal cords at all, so we have to talk with our spores.
Okay.
You guys are so friendly.
Well, I always say, a stranger not met is a friend in need that might be made.
That's a very good outlook. Would you now be able to lead us to the melded one you mentioned?
Well, the melded one is all around us. He's connected to everything and everyone. He's actually now inside you because you just get a good whiff of the spore.
I see.
But I gotta ask, are you here to burn us?
No.
Are you here to eat us?
No.
Are you here to smoke us or in other ways partake of our delicious spores?
No,
Well, then you're better than the last visitors that came.
no, we are aware of trouble coming our way, your way. We firstly
yes, we had lots of communions about that particular mess that we saw a few weeks ago.
we
Just start swinging his arms back and forth.
can I ask what are they referring to?
Well, it's a bit of an odd one. Here we are.
Just when our fight was projected into their minds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we are, just minding our own business, having an afternoon sip of our imaginations and our dreams with each other. Then all of a sudden, we all have a joint hallucination about these people we don't know, having a fight with other people that we don't know, and talking about demons and stuff. And we're thinking, well, that sounds very serious.
Yeah, that was us.
Aye. So the melded one, as smart as he is, with the communal knowledge of everybody who's ever came to be and ever will be in our little colony here, he got together with a few other people, melded them into his own building, and came up with a bit of a plan.
Oh. Would we be able to hear that plan or discuss it with someone?
Well, if you would like to go see the melded one, I'd be more than happy to take you.
Yes, that would be great.
Okay. Well then, be sure you keep up then. And he starts walking off in the direction of the giant mushroom.
Alright.
Do you follow?
I follow, and I'll gesture to Verity and Otti and hope they follow as well.
It's a little bit sick in my mouth
like him.
from the just the idea of the squelching and just
And the smell.
Oh, Otti, I don't know. Do I have any sort of perfume or something I could put on a handkerchief for her to wear?
No, I think it's just the idea of like squelching.
I find it quite comforting.
I'm trying to resist every urge to like jump on the squishy looking mushrooms.
It's just rare because those squishy machine mushrooms look alive, and now that this person or this creature has made friendly contact with you, now the entire place is really coming alive. You see more creatures that look of similar shapes and forms to this guy coming about and just sort of staring at you, doing this. They're all doing their odd swaying sort of thing. You see tiny little mushrooms. Well, not tiny, but like massive mushrooms. But if they look like baby versions of these, you can actually see tiny little beady little eyes and tiny
Like
little
little
stubby
squirts?
like little squirts sort of thing. Like basically, imagine a mushroom that is massive, has like has the cap, and then on the stalk you have tiny little beady eyes, and at the very base of the stalk are flowing little tassels that count as legs.
Don't, because, like, has anyone here ever seen a film called The Enchanted Forest?
No.
No. There is a scene with a bunch of mushroom people in. Very racist depictions in it. Not going to justify any of that, but I remember watching the film as a kid, and now I can't stop thinking about these damn mushrooms. I'll put it in a chat later.
So,
but yeah, can I ask?
Yeah.
I was just going to ask the big mushroom who's leading us. Like, do you have a name, sir?
Oh, I think I do, but names become rather pointless when you're melded with everybody and they know your every thought. You cease becoming the individual and become more of the collective.
I'll just call you friend then.
Friend is absolutely fine.
Yay.
As he walks by, all the other Myconists, they wave at him and he waves back and he goes, hello, 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 hello. Keep on going. You make your way over to the gigantic mushroom. Russ, one of those tiny little mushrooms bars your path, and it looks up to you with his beady little eyes. He starts wiggling up and down. Oh, would you look at that? He wants to be your friend. Isn't that nice? He's called a sprout. He's our version of a baby, what you people call them. We grow ourselves with our own little spores, where we grow new versions of ourselves with our spores, but we've got to be very careful because we don't really age like you mortals or like you fleshy people upstairs. So we've got to be careful about our population control.
Smile at the little sprout.
Spores sprout out from it. Ah, that's a very friendly gesture.
I'll give it a little wave and keep walking.
Making your way inside the gigantic mushroom, inside there is a collection of fungi that is sort of grown into each other to form something of a makeshift chair of some kind. And in it, you see another one of those myconids, similar structure to the one that's been leading you. And in the middle, you see one who looks like them, but is completely purple all over. His mushroom head looks very much like a flat sombrero around his head, or its head even. Its arms and legs are like embedded into the chair, like they're it's part of it, and you can just see its head is just bobbing back and forth. And this mic, and it just goes, may I introduce our very good exonerated and the greatest of all of us, the melded one.
I'll bow deeply and I'll be like, thank you for meeting.
What are you doing down there?
Like you may have heard, we've come due to the interaction you received as a vision in your minds a few weeks ago.
Oh yes, the unwanted hallucination. That one took us all a bit of a loop. We was wondering who dreamed that one up. Took us a while to ask everybody.
We did not cause it, but we featured in it.
Yes, you did.
You see, there is...
Very stuff in there as well. You're very frightening.
Thank you. Only under the right circumstances, I hope.
Well, I'm very certain if you wanted to, you could blow up this entire place, and all I can do is kindly ask you not to.
I can assure you we have no intention to do that. We're here instead because there is a kingdom-wide war brewing up there.
Oh, yeah.
We very much, firstly, wanted to make sure you were protected and aware of it, and then also wondered if we could potentially ask for your help.
Well, actually, I was kind of hoping that we'd be able to find some way to communicate with you, but we don't really know anything beyond our own caves, to be honest. We're not that very well versed with how to get up the ground, except for growing and growing and growing and growing, which is what we have been doing. And it's a very slow progress, as you might have noticed.
I'm sure with the allies and methods we have, something could be arranged if you did want to make your way over somewhere.
Well, if you could guide us, that would be fantastic. But from what your message told us, it would appear that there are some very nasty things happening above ground. Very great unnatural things that threaten the very way of life for plants and creature and animal and person alike.
There are, but there is potentially far worse to come if we don't stop it, and even those in the Underdark won't be protected, I'm afraid.
Oh, yes, that is very true. We certainly don't want that. So we've actually been preparing ourselves for your arrival. We'd be more than happy to join with you.
That would be fantastic.
Aye. We've been preparing best. We've been capturing some raiders, some quaggoths and some drow, a few Duragar and a few dwarves and other gnomes and other such underdark creatures and the like, and we've been turning them into the best. We've been turning them as best as we can, so they're ready to go in a moment's notice.
Okay. And is that what we were expecting from them? I don't know.
They were being preemptive with the zombification of people. That we did not expect.
We were, well, we were aware of your abilities to bring back those who have passed or fallen for whatever reason, and we were hoping that you may be able to use
sometimes,
ability.
to be fair, they don't have to be deceased or passed away for us to turn them into our little spore servants. That's what happened with a lot of the people we captured recently. We turned them into our little spore servants. A lot of them were crying and screaming at the time, but they weren't very nice, so we didn't mind.
What, even the dwarves?
Question.
Even the dwarves, yes. They're better off now.
Is there any way to undo what you have done to people that were alive when you did it to them?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Okay. Well,
once they're part of the collective consciousness that is myself, they're that way forever.
Well, what is done is done. And whilst we respect your way of living, I'm still jamming. I can't stop it. Every time I look at Jack, I just find myself doing it along with it. No. I think it would be more beneficial to have you guys rising up the people who have fallen. We wish to remain in harmony with everyone.
That was actually something we were going to hope to ask, to be honest. Preferably, we'd like them if you could take it alive so we could turn them into our spore servants, because if they're alive, they're a little bit stronger for you. But the dead ones will do just well. They don't last as long.
So, would it be possible to request that you only use that on our enemies and not so much our allies? For now.
Sure. I don't mind.
Like, we want everyone to remain in a harmonious.
If we go up to the top and we form ourselves a nice little colony, and say if some travelers just wander into our nest and they don't agree with our ways, we can't be held responsible if they don't want to be, if they become spore servants. So just keep that in mind, please.
I mean, I can kind of agree with that because, like, we want people to live harmoniously, and these people are just doing what they do.
There's nothing wrong with becoming a spore servant.
Can we think about possibly a new name though, like a sporey?
Spory or spora or whatever you would like to prefer it. I don't mind.
A new friend, a spore friend.
Just
A
keep in mind,
spore friend.
they all become part of my collective consciousness.
Mm-hmm. We just, with people who we are fighting with, I hope you will respect them as I'm sure they will respect you.
We show respect to as many people that show respect to us. We're very friendly like that.
And we do believe in people joining in this war.
Oh, aye. Unfortunately, a lot of people down here underneath the surface, well, they're not very polite in that regard. So we do take our little actions to create a little spore servants.
And that's understandable. It's just the way of life, isn't it? But I just mean we would rather like those on our side to retain their sense of identity, of individuality.
It would help us a great deal if your side smelled a certain way. That's how we differentiate between people.
Which way should we smell, and how do we achieve this?
Something unique so that we can identify that smell as something we shouldn't turn into spore servants. If we find someone who's not, and well, I suppose it'll be down to the individual's best guess of whether or not they're a friend or they're a foe. Most times people are brought before the colony to become a spore servant, so.
Sporey.
Sporey.
I was just thinking, is the fruit that's in what you call it? Does that thing? What's the name of the place where where's our home base?
Parfadellen.
Parfadellen. That's
The
it.
memory fruits.
Sanctuary.
Yeah. Like, would those have a particular smell that we could like?
They didn't have a specific smell that you could remember. It was a taste that was a bit weird.
Would you guys have like a particular plant or spore that can grow quickly, so we can make everyone perfume from it? That way,
we have our spores.
If we were to take some with us to the surface and culture it, would we be able to make people like a perfume so you would be able to identify it?
You can take a few of our stools.
I'm assuming that's mushroom stools.
They're the little critters you see running around. They're our stools.
They're so cute.
Would covering ourselves in this spore concoction turn us into spore servants?
No. Unless you have too much of it, then who knows?
Okay. Could we perhaps get back to you on a communal sense before you
That's no problem. Well, you tell us where we need to go and where we need to be, and we'll go there. It won't be a problem. We do need a little bit. We do need a guide to get out of this cave and up to the surface, well, because we're pretty much stuck into this area. But I have communed with several other colonies to become one giant melded one, and we're ready to go. I've got 1,000 spore servants ready to go, with many more on the way.
Also, as Russ is saying that, he turns to see Verity with one of the little spore things. Like, I want to take it home with me. Can we keep it?
If you squeeze it, spores spurt out of it.
I'm not squeezing it. I'm just kind of like petting it. Like, let me take this baby home. Can we keep him?
Oh, of course. I don't see why not. He'll grow up in no time, though.
Okay, but I have an idea.
Which is...
Sure, I,
It's related,
sure I
don't
do.
worry.
So long as you got not problem, I was going to say one of our little prerequisites of actually helping you is you don't mind if we make more of ourselves upstairs, do you?
So long as you remain on our side.
We're not actually that violent. We just want more spore servants. Makes our lives a little bit more easier. Makes my life more interesting as well, because every spore servant I acquire is another life story that goes into our consciousness. It's another,
Boring.
it's another dream that we can all share with each other. We call them going to the pictures.
There are some people that I can't quite think of the word. I don't know. Korgrin, what do we do with you? I don't know what we do with you.
Korgrin's not there, you silly Billy.
Yes, I know, but I can't think of the word.
Tolerate, worship, love, adore.
No, tolerate. You were right the first time.
Yeah, I know.
I
There
barely
are
tolerate you.
people that we are in close contact with that believe in afterlife, etc., and gods, and I don't get it. I don't understand it. But
That's a very strange thing. As far as I know, there's no
It-
afterlife. There's only a
it-
spore
it
life.
it is a strange thing. It's a very strange thing. I don't understand it because you're dead. You're dead.
You're either food or you're not. If you're a spore, you're not food. You're a helper.
So
Everybody helps each other here.
we wish for you to respect that from other people. You're making me really seasick. I just looked up then and it went really violent.
I'm sorry, but this is just how I like to expunge my excess spores.
Yeah. So can you respect that from other people?
I can respect that there are some people that don't want to be spore servants, or spores, as you call them. I respect that. I don't understand it, but I respect it. But the whole purpose of going upstairs is to make sure we get more spore servants, so that way we can make our colony even bigger when we come back. I'm hoping to get at least 1 million.
Just out of curiosity, what's the current population of Jarashtakai?
About 250,000.
Okay.
But that's not counting all the animals and stuff.
I mean, there's a shit ton of demons up there.
Yeah.
Oh no, we can't do it to demons. They don't take the sporing process very well. They're very unnatural like that. That's why we don't. That's why we're on the side of you. We don't like unnatural things like that, especially things that are very dangerous.
What would happen if you tried to spore a demon?
We'd most likely become demonified ourselves. They're very contagious.
Okay.
Doesn't matter how powerful you are. If you come into contact with demonic energy, you become a demon yourself. Some might control it a little bit better, but at the end of the day, you're still a demon and you're still destructive, and you can't be a spore servant, which is a big loss to everyone.
Yes, that would not be ideal. We'll do our best to fight these demons alongside you, and...
Okay, well then. Well, we're ready to go. Shall we go?
We will communicate with you when we're ready to go telepathically, probably from a
Alright.
distance.
Okay, no problem. In the
but-
meantime, we'll be taking travelers in the Underdark and turning them into spore servants for you.
Not dwarfs,
Why?
because they believe in an afterlife and they deserve to
anyone,
go there.
anyone can say they believe in an afterlife. That's not a real reason to get out of being a spore servant.
No, it
It's
is.
just
No
them
dwarfs.
being,
No
them
dwarfs.
being lazy.
No dwarfs.
Okay, no more dwarves. Flush the rest. So, is there anything else you would like to do here with the melded one? Or do you
shower for a long time?
Yeah, with the melded one. No.
Bow chicka bow wow.
call it a spore shower? Great for the skin and full of protein.
Yeah, I think as soon as I think we're kind of done here.
Okay, well, it was very nice meeting the hallucinations that came out to be true, and we'll wait for your call to come.
Okay, thank you very much. See you later. Bye.
Bye. And all the other Myconids just turn around, and just go bye bye, monotonously, simultaneously, even the little mushrooms, and that's when you realised they're all the melded one.
Yeah.
Like, if
mind.
they could all stand in unison and clap in unison, like, that's what they'd do. And if you would like, you can take some of their stools with you to spread their spores above ground.
Verity is limited to 2 of them.
So she's got one underneath each arm then.
Yes, yes.
Righty then.
So Qatar's not seeming so bad now, is he?
The who?
Catan.
Yeah. Yeah, this is
They're not there, Rennas.
I know, that was me speaking.
this is Gatorn and everything he touched turned to death.
So, what would team like to do from here?
I think
I'm kind of emotionally scarred.
yeah, I think we need to go back as quickly as possible. I'll ask Verity very nicely if there's a way that we can go back.
I mean, I
Now-
can.
No, so I just cried. I want to go home. But no, just being dramatic is fine.
Well, first, do you want to use the sending stone to make sure that everyone is there and they haven't left in the couple days that we've been walking?
Yeah, well, we have the uses of it, so may as well.
Well, I assume we probably would have.
Yeah, I think we definitely have left.
Yeah. Where, obviously, we don't know, but you guys have been traveling for a couple of days at this point, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess our next step would be to message those guys and then make plans from that.
Yeah.
So do you cast what messaging system do you use?
Otti with the sending stone?
Yeah, me with a sending stone. And it will be when we've just leaving the Myconids and be like, just seen the Myconid colonies. They are on side. Pretty weird though. I just start rambling about it. Where are you? Where you been? What you up to? Wait for Korgrin's response.
Korgrin's response will be when we've decided where we're going, I guess. And how...
I mean, I feel if they're doing other stuff, then we would go off and try and do the little dragon summoning thing. Hopefully, the Reichstag would help us again. And we could go on a little dragon... what's the word I'm looking for? Tour. Dragon tour.
I doubt we'd be able to do that in a couple days.
I thought it was like 5 days walk to the...
4 days.
So that gives us 4 days. We could surely get I don't think they were all as far away as Votatrix, were they?
I mean, they're not on the map, so...
It would really depend on which one you would like to go try and get to.
I mean, gold sounds good to me, but that's only because I know nothing about magic or dragons. Or we could go and do Titan Icebane. We could just ask Reichstag again if he'd give us a lift to them. Although he is, I believe, a big circle, so I don't think we can.
Nice being a small one. The Frost Giant's small.
Okay, but has he not got 3 armies? Don't really fancy taking on 3 armies and the White Horde to try and get the Frost Giants out on our own. That seems like an altogether thing.
Doable, because all we gotta do is take him down into the Underdark.
Fair, very fair. But could we even, could Reichstag even get us there if the White Horde is on the map there? I don't know if we'd even know this. How good is, what's its
That's
intelligence?
the thing. If the White Horde is patrolling the eastern skies, Reichstag will not fly you there. It's too dangerous.
And that's kind of what I
Or the
figured.
west.
And with the eagle
The
tribes,
west, yeah. And the Eagle tribes, who have sided with the king, now occupy the skies to the north as well. So it looks like it's actually becoming quite clear with what they're happening with the Goblinoid Alliance protecting the land to the east, the White Horde blocking off the Frost Giants, and the Eagle tribes and the Goliath Alliance protecting the pathways to the north. It looks like they're trying to box you in from any international allies, and now their strategy is starting to take form to you.
So whereabouts was the Golden Dragon that we were given? How far away was that?
Let me get Vortex up again. So Tag Hoto, Protector of the Sky, can be found in the ruins of Gyzax, the northeastern country of Assyria Draca. So quite literally the most direct route is over the mountains, by the frontier and Jaroshakai, and just continue on in that direction. The same path that is now guarded by the Eagle tribes.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you like to make a history check in regards to those ruins?
Sure. I'm great at history.
You've never heard of them before.
Okay. I don't know where we're going. So much for getting a Golden Dragon on our side.
The Korgrin, you recall the ruins of Gyzax. It used to be a palace of some kind for a kingdom long forgotten to the ages. It has since been overtaken by dust storms and sands. It is significant in the sense that it was once the hotbed of a great civilization that paved the way for the country of Assyria Draca. Now it just stands ruined, lost to the annals of time.
You know what we should have done? Is asked Ivotodrex for any teleportation circles that he was aware of. He knows everything.
I was just thinking a book of teleportation circles would have been very handy.
Well, he wouldn't have given us a book. That was his hoard. He protects his hoard. But he might
But
have been
I
able
should
to
have-
let us copy some. Well,
I
yes,
should
okay. If you'd have
remembered.
flicked through it, you'd have memorized everything.
I'd have to have properly looked at it. I can't just, speed read. I may find a little dancing man in the corner though if I do it fast enough.
Oh well, woulda, shoulda, coulda. Well, I don't know where we want to go then.
How long would it take for us to get to the Frost Giants?
A week.
We don't think there's that much time.
Oh. And this is if you're travelling through the path of the Underdark. Like on land, you're limited to the pathway, and there is the fact that there's the capital and many armies barring between you. So this is if you were to travel to the Frost Giants area, it would be considered. Loic would definitely consider it being a stealth mission. You don't want to be caught.
Would you say let me check something a minute. Could I scry on Titan Icebane, please?
You have not met him, have you?
No. So I don't believe I get any benefits from it.
No. So he'll need to make your wisdom save.
Mm-hmm. So it can fail this. I mean, that doesn't seem pretty particularly good.
I'm just seeing his bonuses. He has got a +5 in wisdom saving throws. So that won't be enough.
Nope.
Okay. So your vision takes you away from Parfadellum, outwards, across the frozen skies, down and down into a frozen tundra. You can see billows of large black smoke scattered around the area. You start zooming across the plains of snow and the ice, and you can see pockets of this land are littered with craters, bodies that include both people and frost giants. You go inside a half structure, half ice, like hill sort of thing, like snow hill. Inside you can see fighting between several frost giants and soldiers of Windwood. Keep on going onwards and onwards till eventually you go inside a room where you can see several children and non-combatants, civilians, all of them frost giants. And you see Titan Icebane, his body covered horribly in scars and the matter from all manners of wounds and distortions. He wields a helm made of mammoth tusks, but he has taken it off of his head and holding it under his arm, revealing a boldish-like blue head, long white beard, even more glorious than your own, Korgrin.
Sacrilege.
His outfit consists of pelts from polar bears and winter wolves, and on his back is a shield made of dragon white scales. And he is currently smiling and making silly noises and going to a little frost giant baby. With the mother, who looks a little disheartened, a little sort of melancholy, is just sort of having the baby bounce on her shoulder, sorry, her knee, as Titan Icebane is going boop, 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 boop. Sort of stands up and says, "Don't worry a single thing. Look, here are my tusks." And they start spinning around on the helmets. And the baby just goes, "Don't you worry one little thing, you wee little baby. We'll get ourselves out of here, and we'll make the humans rule the day that they think they could destroy us. What are we, everyone? We're the Frost Giants! And what does that mean? It means that we are the greatest! That we will survive the winter!" That is right. That is right. Well, Deirdre, very much. It reminds me of why we're fighting. I have to put the helmet back on now. Okay, no problem. He starts patting the baby, and after a few minutes it sort of sunders back to sleep. But I appreciate that. Not for baby's eyes. He puts the helmet on, and his eyes gloss over, and he becomes snarled. I'm gonna go kill me some fucking humans now. And there's like a sense of fear from the other frost giants. He storms out of this room, wielding a battle axe that's even bigger than he is. And he charges down a hallway, smashes open a door to see one of his ice brothers being overwhelmed by a dozen of humans. He swings the axe, and it has about probably a 10-15 feet of range, and he bisects 3 soldiers in one swing. And then he bounds forward and just continues attacking and swinging, and he fells about 30, maybe 40 soldiers in the space of about 5 minutes or so. Blood scapers across the walls. The 2 ice giants that were fighting this corridor, they get to their feet and they thank him, and he doesn't respond nicely. He just looks at them and says,
"If you're weak enough to let humans kill you, you might as well fall on your own helmets. No weaklings allowed here."
And then he charges off to continue the battle. And that's about when your vision ends.
Interesting. So, I am going to use sending on him. However, I may do this again at a different time, maybe when he's not battle raging with this weird fucking magical helmet. So I'll try it now, see how he responds, and maybe try again in the future. So I've counted it out. So I cast sending. You don't know me. You have seen me in a mind vision. Escape through tunnels to stone giants. Join us against human capital.
A message comes back to you that simply says,
"Frost giants don't run from a fight."
Fair enough. I will try again when I don't think he's wearing the helmet.
Okay.
What time of the day is it, roughly?
Mid-afternoon.
Okay, I'll try again in the evening.
Right.
Like when I think he's whenever a frost giant sees fit to go to bed, you know? Curls up in his furs and, his little polar bear pillow. And
So, Team Mushroom, after completing your meeting with Myconids, do you teleportation circle back to Parfadellum?
Up to Verity.
If
I'd
Verity's
like
got
to.
I don't want to walk back. But if Verity's got the slots to do it, then yeah.
I have the slots, but can I just be clear? Are we not showing
not
the
what?
mic notes on the way out?
No, I'm scared of them. I think we'll decide later.
Not just yet. I think we need to think about a positioning that we can something we can do with them, whether it's behind us or whatnot. We need to think about that carefully. We need to think about it carefully. That's what I'm saying. Like, we need to position them in such a way that they're not going to get demon-fied, but they aren't going to scar Korgrin.
Well, it's not just the dwarves. I'm also worried about like everyone else that they're just turning, and do we really want to enable that?
Or do the farmer takes a wrong turn and ends up into the colony and suddenly becomes a spore servant?
Yeah, or what if like our family does or whatever? And not even just in selfish ways. It's not really good. Essentially, they're being predators, aren't they? So
They flat out told you, make your people smell differently, otherwise we could end up turning them into spore servants accidentally.
Oh no, I'm not talking about our people, but I mean like innocents or people.
Yeah,
who
they don't
afterwards.
They don't view innocence. They don't view bad people in that regard. They just view people who need to be spore servants and people who shouldn't.
And that's the problem. It's kind of like it's kind of like releasing wild animals and just being like, oh, just kill everyone, but be on our side.
I think they're more kind of like spiders. Like, if there was enough warning
Spiders
people to be like, hey, don't go towards the mushroom area, people would avoid it. Unless, they are ruffians or whatever. If people wander in there, either they can be like us and be polite and they'll be probably left alone. Or if they go in there and they go in guns a-blazing thinking they're going to get some sweet-ass druggy mushrooms and then they get turned into spore servants, I mean, that's It's like situation by situation basis where we can't be responsible for.
We give them the scent of something like lavender or rose, and then just put them in a place and surround it with lavender. They won't escape. It'll be fine. I don't know. That's going to have to be a later problem. I'm well aware of the mistake we made, but at the time, it's the only thing we could do. I think we'd piss him off too much if we just went, nah, fuck it, we're going now.
I just think, they're way too much of a benefit to let go. And like I don't see them as malicious. I see them as literally just like they're just living their own cycle of life.
They could literally be a demon spawning pit.
If the demons get to them, they could literally just turn the whole thing into demonic. And that's why we got to think carefully about where we position it and make sure that it's not. I say it. Was there a gender associated with it, Jack, or is it in it?
They're non-gendered. They're non-binary.
Yeah. So we need to position them in such a way that they're not going to get demonified. We need to think about that one and like coordinate it appropriately.
Okay. That's fine. Like I just didn't want to write them off just because they're
inherently evil.
They're not inherently evil, they're just literally vibing. Like I said, they're like spiders. If you don't go into the web, you're gonna be fine. You warn enough people about the web, they're gonna be fine. We walked in and we didn't do anything to initially like threaten them. We were fine.
This is true.
Yeah, but they also knew who we were.
Not until after when we started communicating with them.
No, they recognized you straight away.
They would have recognized us from the images.
Yeah, they were just curious whether or not you come to destroy them or not.
Yeah.
You were this close.
We hadn't until we got to know them.
You were this close away to becoming spore servants. So.
Yeah, so
especially when you let them shoot spores at you.
That would have been a bummer.
But they were able to give us the benefit of the doubt. So I'm pretty sure if someone was to wander into their colony and they not freak out and try to kill everyone and everything on sight, they will be treated with the same amount of respect. However, if someone goes in and they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to turn these mushrooms into some sweet-ass drugs. So glad I didn't offer them any drugs.
You just know that the sequel to
they'll be defending themselves then.
The next adventure after we defeat Argoneth is going to be that colony.
Kill the ever-spreading mushroom people.
Yeah. It's no longer demons taking over the world. It's mushrooms.
Contain them.
So, Team Dragon who've returned. So, I just need to check. With the 4 days that you have, are you going to go out anywhere, or are you going to stay in Path of Dead waiting for Team Mushroom to return?
Well, Arri's brought it to our attention. Obviously, we have the teleportation circle in kind of near Arrabella. What would be the travel time from Arrabella to the Frost Giants?
Say probably about 4.5 days or so.
Probably also still too long. It'd be quite. I assume we'd be cutting it in that case.
Very much so. I mean, it looked from the scry that you saw, the humans were assaulting what appeared to be their actual base, their capital, the Frost Giant capital, and Titan Icebane himself was fighting on home turf. Who knows how long they're going to last?
Then I'll try again with the sending in the evening. See if there's a more receptive response. If not, then I think we stay.
Roll a D. I want you to roll a D4 for me, please, just to see.
Interesting.
So one sec, I'm just gonna go through my circles because we have the ice caves. Is that Arrabella?
No, that's the ice caves. That's Drogon to Mordor.
Yeah, is that closer?
About the same amount of distance, to be honest.
Also above ground.
Jaroshakai is probably the closest place, but then we have to get out of the capital. So
Yeah, I was going to say we have
Okay.
the capital ones, the half-elf place. That's
Well, in actuality, if you remember, the summoning or the teleportation circle in the capital was destroyed when you guys got out of there.
Rennas doesn't remember that. It's magic shit.
So
the Green Spire, the Thin Descent, the Frontier Farlands, the Frontier Tippers, Free Folk Forest, Brine, and Parfidan. Those are the circles I have that I made
Silent
note of.
Sisters were sent out on a teleportation circle, weren't they?
Who were, sorry?
The Silent Sisters were sent out on a teleportation circle from
inside the capital. Yes, so it would
okay.
that would most likely be Knowledge's personal one. So
Okay, because I was just thinking, if it was from around there, would Loic have knowledge of a teleportation circle up there?
he does not have a teleportation circle for the Frost Giants, unfortunately. And if you ask Loic's honest opinion, the Frost Giants are a lost cause. They're there to serve as a distraction for half the armies of Windward whilst you guys prepare. They are dying for the sole purpose that his people, the Half-Elves, can get ready.
He's
kind of okay.
That's because he doesn't care about anyone but half-elves.
We kind of
okay with that.
Wanted the Frost Giants so that we could get to the other giants afterwards. What was it, the Cloud ones? No, the Fire ones.
We could still go to them. It's just there's probably the Frost Giants probably have more knowledge about the Fire Giants than the Stone Giants would.
I think
I don't. Go on.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I think it was like a direct connection from the leaders to each other. Like, well, that's what it was the Stone Lord that told us where they were, and I think it might be the same. It might, yeah,
you beat the hill giant to get to the stone giant. Giant leads to
but
the...
it's like I don't think we could just access them on our own without the Frost Giants. I don't know.
Can't hear you,
Jeff. Unless you find out where they are through some other means.
Yeah.
But Korgrin, with that roll, okay, so what do you say to him in your sending?
I will try the same thing again because, like I say, it's those are two very clearly different personalities. Just then, I feel like the one that wants to take care of the children, the non-combatants, the innocents, would be more receptive to that sending. I can always send another one after if he is like,
with that.
Go on, do tell me more.
You get a response, and it's a little bit different from what you previously experienced. It's much more softer, though kind of like an authoritative voice. And he goes, I heard you from before. I do not know if this is real or hope in the darkness. My people are surrounded. We need help. We cannot get out. We can hold out for 3 more days.
So, by that logic, I assume they don't know either about the tunnels or they simply can't access them.
More likely they can't access them.
Okay. Bugger, now I've got a guilty conscience.
Didn't you say you had some mount thing that you could summon celestial mount things?
I have Conjure Celestial.
And would that allow you to have transport, potentially from Arrabella to there? Would that cut any time off the currently 4.5 days travelling?
I suppose that depends on Jack's ruling of a challenge rating of 4 or lower.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can create something of a steed with, like a celestial steed, like a Pegasus or something, I guess.
Would I be able to make 3?
What is it? Conjure Celestial, is that
yeah.
Right?
I've posted it in chat.
7.
It lasts for an hour? What a crap spell.
Oh shit, yeah.
And it's concentration.
What if it's just a magical horse instead of a Pegasus?
Well, Pegasus is a celestial, so...
Yeah, I know. It's just, I mean, like a regular horse, but it's all divine rather than an actual magical horse. So that it lasts maybe longer.
We could have probably got like some sort of spider mount from Halforc had we not killed all the spiders.
Yeah. Oopsies.
What about, because what's her face is connected to the Fey realm because she sent us dick face on hoof feet. What if we ask her if she can get friendly Fey to accompany us and
Ophelia.
Do we have, like Ophelia perhaps, or do we actually have any horses at Parfdelen? Has anyone arrived on horses at all? So potentially we could take those through the teleportation circle.
You actually have an anonymous donor originating from inside the capital.
That legend.
And the horses are actually really good. You're not gathering them in Parfdelen. They're in the outskirts of the mountains that are being looked after by your people at the moment. It's actually quite hard for horses to travel up the mountains, and they just didn't want to risk it. So.
But if we grab 3 of them, went to the teleportation circle, could we get to the ice giants within 3 days?
You'd have to roll for it.
How would we be able to make that roll better?
If you're using regular horses, it'd be down to I'd have to have the horses do Constitution saving throws because you'd be riding them like hell.
I can enhance ability.
Enhance ability for one creature, right?
I can do it for 1 extra creature for every level spell I do. So at a 4th level, I would be able to do all 3.
This is it's a problem. It's a creative. If you can come up with a creative solution, I'm all for it.
Are horses better when they've been ridden? So when you keep a spare horse, so basically if we had 6 horses, rode 3 horses out, and then had the other 3 horses which hadn't been ridden yet,
and switch between them. That is a thing that happens in
a lot of books
and things. Yeah.
Yeah, take multiple horses with you, and when one falls, you get on another. And
Well, not necessarily falls. I'm not trying to kill the horses off, but just switching between them so that one is riding empty, one is riding full. So it's almost a rest for the one that's right. It's still tiring, but not as tiring as carrying our heavy asses. I mean, I know Arri weighs 2 stone, but
Well, then that would come under animal handling checks because I can't say any of you are extremely proficient at riding.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I can see the benefit of ice giants, and lacking any other specific destinations to go, I'd be happy to give that a go.
Yeah, the only other thing I can think of is going to Baron Zala.
Which we said
I know
we
that
do.
we do as a group, yeah.
Or
But you have to bear in mind as well, I am useless for 7 days.
Alternatively, you can wait and see if Loic produces any new information in the coming days, and that would mean abandoning the Frost Giants to their fate, but you might be aware of something from the get-go from when it comes in instead of on a delay of when you go out and then come back.
I was also wondering if you were able... Sorry. I was wondering if you were able to try and convince Titan Icebane from a distance to contact himself, the Fire Giants, and then we could go to them for help.
Sorry, you're all going to die. Can you send us your friends?
Yeah. Well, no, not us. No, to say that we'll go and get them for them. Kind of.
I feel like the Fire Giants are probably going to be a ways away anyway.
The people that we have in Parfdelen, the heads of magic, what ones are they again?
You have got
necromancy, abjuration.
I'm just getting up the. Where is
or
it?
Conjuration.
So you have got head divinator, head necromancer, head conjurer, and head evoker.
Teleportation is a conjuration.
Conjuration, teleportation shit, yeah.
Yeah, teleport is a conjuration spell.
There's a like 5% chance it goes fucky and we just end up somewhere completely different.
I mean, that's better than a 50%
that
chance our fucking horses fuck up and we all die and we're stranded in the bloody Underdark.
Yeah.
Ophelia does know teleport.
We can ask Ophelia then.
Onwards.
Chances are she might be able to get you at least close to the capital without in the capital. I don't know. I was just throwing it out there.
Oh my god, so teleport fails and you'll end up in like Edgar's bedroom or something.
And then we'll just kill him and campaign over. Yes! Yeah, no, I say we go see Ophelia and ask.
We'll have to go with you if you teleport.
But she can come straight back afterwards.
She's only got 7th level spell, so she'll have to rest first.
I do have Word of Recall that covers everyone. It would just be a case of, whether it's the same day, etc.
I mean, to be fair, she's like the head of conjuration. I imagine she's relatively safe at fighting.
To be fair, she does also have teleportation circles, so she can teleport back to a path of death and fire the circle. So,
okay, what about then 3 horses, Ophelia, and us? That's what 4 horses. 4 horses, 1 for each of us. So if we do end up just in the area, we can ride there. Because I'm just looking at the teleport table now, and there's like, there's a mishap, there's a similar area, there's this and that, etc., etc.
Well, let's go to Ophelia and see if she's ever had any dealings with the ice giants and even has any idea where they are and might be able to take us there. How familiar she is with the area. I know all these weird magical spells rely on familiarity and rubbish and blah blah blah. So, to Ophelia's, I think, is the place we go.
Okay.
It's annoying that you don't have me with you because I would have fought in those areas, so I would actually know them.
I don't know if that would help Ophelia because I think she would have to know them.
Any
I
of
assume.
the Silent Sisters no teleport?
No, they're not that powerful, unfortunately.
Yeah. Never mind.
So, Ophelia will be happy to help. She's never been to the Frost Giants before, but if you are dead set on going there, she will try and get you there. She does warn you that there is a chance that you can go completely wrong.
What is the spell that Korgrin used to see it? Like, is that? I assume that's probably not conjuration. That's probably a completely different one.
Do you mean scrying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's obviously
Divination.
not conjuring, but
That's Estruan's skills.
I can scry again and scry on the location that I saw, maybe, I don't know, and show it to Ophelia, but I don't think that's really how scry works. That's more just of a flavor thing.
yeah. Because I was thinking, because if she could scry it, she'd have a look of it and be like, "That's where I'm going." But yeah.
I have faith in you, Ophelia.
I think it would go based on description alone, wouldn't it?
Yeah, probably. So it's the 54 to 100.
Yeah.
Then I will do my best description of Titan Icebane and the location that I saw as possible.
Okay. So with that,
with the 4 horses that we've got.
Cover yourselves, and she will cast Teleport. And she is imagining getting herself as close to Titan Icebane's settlement as close as possible.
That's not very high.
No, that's bad. That's very bad. Well, depends on how Jack rules it. Whether the 28 is actually, the 72 or...
That's the mishap stage.
Yeah, thought so.
Me and my big mouth.
Just going through the text. Description. New group. What is our culture? Distance of one to travel. Try to travel 120 miles, land off target, roll 5 and 3, and you would be off target of 50% or 18 miles. Okay, so. So that's 9 times 10, so that's 90%. Or if I'm reading this correct. So either 90% off target by 90% or 90 miles or the direction. This is a very complicated spell.
Distance off target
It really
is 1d10 by 1d10% of the distance.
It's
So
in
how
mishap,
far is-
not off target. So is it not just we end up in a random area completely?
No, my understanding is it's mishap, which means that you'll take 3d10 force damage, and then you have to re-roll a d100, and you have to see again, and that's what it says. Multiple mishaps can happen. So we need to re-roll until you no longer get mishap,
Okay.
and then you either get similar off target or on target. Is how I understand
So
it.
theoretically, we could all die from this. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
or you could all end up in Titanized Bane's lap with 3d10 force damage. Who knows?
Okay.
Hold on. So I think. All right. Well, what I'll do is, as you guys teleport away, strange things begin happening as your body gets attacked by powerful forces that Ophelia is trying to control, and it's not working very well. And where you will end up is anyone's guess, because I'll get to that on the next session.